Hello, I'm your announcer and host, Cody Moore, here with one of the founders of this board game we're covering, and the ref for the tournament, Othello.
Hello, folks. Why don't you join us, Josh?
Oh, thank you.
Josh here is a sports announcer for, what is it, soccer?
Oh yeah, soccer on ESPN.
So, like Josh here, some of you may be kind of confused about this game, Othello.
So what is Othello?
Well, Othello's just a game, Josh. You see, what you do is you put these pieces down, and if the pieces are stuck between the two opposing forces of, black, then the white switches over to black.
Mm-hmm. So is this a really serious game? I mean, are you really competitive? This black versus white, good versus evil?
No, Josh. Othello is just a game.
Okay, it's just a game.
Yeah, it's just a game. Othello is just a game.
Mm-hmm. So how? I mean, when can I move? How can I move? How does that all work?
Well, Othello is just a game, so it's got a set of rules.
Okay.
So the first person that starts out, first off, the board is set up like this. Mm-hmm. The first person to move is black. And because black is the first to move, white only has to defend. So black is typically considered more aggressive than white.
Mm-hmm. I see. But this aggressiveness, does it play into the characters and who they are, or the players and who they are?
No. Othello is just a game.
Okay.
So, and you continue like that, just putting pieces down and flipping pieces over.
And you have to flip them every turn.
Yes, of course. Othello is just a game, Josh. You have to follow the rules.
Okay.
And until there's no more legal moves for another player to make.
Okay.
I think if we take anything out of this, it's that Othello is just a game, folks.
Mm-hmm. Now enjoy watching.
Okay, folks, here we go. We begin round one of the Othello tournament in Venice, Italy. Rodrigo versus Iago. And Iago makes the first move here in this game of Othello, taking over a little bit with his black pieces. Rodrigo's counting the squares as he goes. This is very unusual. I don't know why he's doing that. It's almost like he has a predetermined plan given to him by someone else. Okay. Tricky tactic by Iago there, flipping over a piece that shouldn't be flipped over to trip up Rodrigo. Okay, Rodrigo again counting the pieces. Doesn't make much sense to me, and he's certainly not choosing the best moves he possibly could. Okay, Iago. What's he doing there? Oh, does it again. Very tricky. Not exactly a person you could call honest. Alright. Okay. Oh, there you go. Yeah, Rodrigo doing pretty well for himself. Oh. Well, never mind. Iago takes it back there. Alright, Rodrigo can turn this all around. And does he? No. Not the brightest bulb in the bunch, I can tell you that. Oh my goodness. With this move, I believe Iago's won. Oh my goodness. Very short game here, folks. Okay, round two. Rodrigo versus Brabantio. From what I've heard, just to give you a little inside information here, Rodrigo and Brabantio have somewhat of a past with each other, if I'm not mistaken. In previous Othello game tournaments, I believe Rodrigo was somewhat involved with Brabantio's daughter, Desdemona, who happens to be involved as a staff member of the Othello tournaments. Just to give you some context for this match. So, as usual, Rodrigo's counting his squares at that time. Not doing particularly well, I suppose. Brabantio, well, he's doing a little better than he was against Iago, I can tell you that. Don't know how this game's going to turn out, personally. Okay, Brabantio's doing relatively well for himself, though. Right, it's Rodrigo again. Alright. We're going to switch you to the microphone at the scene to give you some insight as to what they're talking about right now.
What? Have you lost your wits?
Most Reverend Signor, do you know my voice?
Not I. What are you?
My name is Roderigo.
The worst are welcome. I have charged thee not to hound by my doors. Get out of here.
Put money in thy purse. Now, put money in thy purse. Put money in thy purse. Money in thy purse.
And now we switch over live to Cyprus for the next rounds of the Othello board game tournament. Remember, Othello is just a game, nothing else. Game 1 of Cyprus, Rodrigo versus Iago. We start this game just as we started it in Venice. Okay. And it's already looking very similar to what played out in Venice. Rodrigo once again counting his moves. Honestly, a little skeptical as to the validity of these matches with Iago and Rodrigo. I know I've noticed Rodrigo and Iago talking real buddy-buddy prior to these matches here. Again, it is remarkably astounding how similar these moves are to the previous tournament that they played, or the previous round in the tournament. I swear he's using the exact same tactics that he used before, yet Rodrigo seems to not catch on to it in the slightest. Are they in cahoots somehow, or is Rodrigo just really that stupid? Then again, it could be a combination of both. Yep, seems to be literally the exact same moveset that was used in the previous round they were in. Honestly, I don't even know how Iago and Rodrigo got to be facing each other again this late in the tournament. And yep, Iago uses the same finishing move. Gosh darn it, how did this be it? This isn't valid.
Zounds, a rogue, a rascal.
What's the matter, sir?
A knave teach me my duty? I'll beat the knave into a twig and bottle.
Beat me?
You don't punish me, rogue!
What did you think of Rodrigo not being punished for cheating?
Yeah, man. I just think Othello needs to get his stuff straight. Rodrigo was cheating during that last match, and it wasn't fair. But, I got Desdemona. She's on my side. She'll help me out. So, what do you think of Othello?
I think it's just a game.
That handkerchief.
What?
The chief rules that I so loved and gave you, that thou gavest Cassio.
No, by my life and soul, send for the man and ask him.
Sweet soul, take heed of perjury. thou art on thy deathbed. And say besides that in Aleppo once, where a malignant and a turbaned Turk beat a Venetian and traduced the state, I took by the throat the circumcised dog, and smote him thus.
And so the Venice-Cyprus Othello game tournament went down. Iago was permanently banned following the discovery of his cheating ways, and Othello and Desdemona are both no longer involved in the game whatsoever. After being slaughtered by Iago in the game, Rodrigo too does not play the game of Othello any longer. A man by the name of William Shakespeare was one of many in the audience during the tournament, both in Venice and in Cyprus. He absolutely adored the game of Othello, and this was the only tournament he could manage to travel to within his lifetime, as most tournaments are held in Japan. He was somewhat puzzled by the results of the tournament, what with all of the bans and forfeits. After struggling to come to terms with the fact that the only Othello tournament he could ever go to was a wash, Shakespeare began to craft a story that would make sense of the whole debacle. He was somewhat of a playwright, so it came naturally for him. He crafted elaborate backstories for all of the tournament players and staff, coining the word fan fiction in the process. The end result of Shakespeare's toils is a gripping tale of deceit, passion, and jealousy. You can find a copy of this piece in your nearest AP Literature book. I highly recommend it. Just remember, folks, Othello is just a game.